G'day, we're Brad and Hayley and this is our Australia trip. A pipe dream 4 years ago has turned into this, an epic 2-year journey around Australia in our caravan. We don't really know what we're doing, but join us along the way as we figure it all out.
We just left our home, jobs and life on the Gold Coast, and we plan to travel around Queensland for the next few months before then heading down south. We've spent the last couple of years planning and saving for this trip, but the last 6 months in particular have been crazy busy. We're about to pick up our new caravan.
Oh boy.
Today's the day that I'm going to meet with my boss and tell him that I want to apply for leave to travel around Australia in a caravan. Wish me luck.
We left our jobs, we took the van out of storage and brought it back home with us to Queensland. We packed up our house and sold most of our belongings, kitted out our Landcruiser and our caravan for full-time touring. We also got our setup professionally weighed, so we'll make a separate video about that.
The hardest part by far was saying goodbye to our family and friends, but we know that we had to do that in order to have this epic adventure of a lifetime.
Before we left for our trip, we spent 5 weeks in the caravan park at Tallabudgera Creek. It was a great chance for us to transition to living in the caravan full time and sort out all the jobs and maintenance that needed doing before we set off.
So when we left, we were going to head north along the coast up to Bundaberg, do some camping on the beach and snorkel at Lady Elliot Island, but the poor weather changed our plans and it led us to a quiet and secluded bush camp in the mountains along the Queensland and New South Wales border.
So this is it, Koreelah Creek. At this point, we were 3 hours from home at the start of a 2-year journey. It was a beautiful and secluded spot, one we would have picked for a weekend getaway. However, we didn't realise how isolated and homesick we'd both feel on our first night. The site had no reception either, so we were completely cut off from our old lives. We had an early night and went to check out a place that was close to both of our hearts.
Okay, we are off to visit a very special spot today. This is actually the spot that Brad and I got engaged 2.5 years ago now. So Brad organised a little trip away one weekend. I was actually in a moon boot at the time, so that's a story for another time, but he told me that he'd organised a little weekend away to get me out of the house so that I had something nice to do. We came up here to the falls in Queensland or New South Wales? It's right on the border. Yeah, we'll say Queensland. We came up to the falls here. It's a beautiful spot. And one morning we woke up really early and we
Actually
walked up.
an hour early.
Yeah, we woke up too early because of the time zone difference. But anyway, we walked up to this little lookout up here and the sun was coming up, it was sunrise, and right as the sun came up over the mountains, Bradzo dropped down on one knee and he popped the question, and yeah, we got engaged.
It wasn't this cold. It definitely wasn't this cold.
Freaking freezing at the moment. But anyway, we'll swing around here and show you the lookout where the magic happened 2.5 years ago. Have a go at it. Stunning.
No regrets.
No regrets. Well, that's good to hear. So nice.
It was a lot greener when we were here last time.
Yeah, we were here in February 2020, right before the world changed.
And there was donkeys.
There were donkeys.
I wonder if they're still here.
Oh,
Nah,
dear.
nothing.
After visiting Carr's Lookout, where we got engaged, we took a short drive down the road to check out Queen Mary Falls. It was pumping after the recent rain. We wanted to do the Condamine Gorge River crossings as well, where you drive through the gorge and cross the river 14 times as it meanders below the steep cliffs. The road was closed though. I guess it had taken a beating after all the rain events the southeast of Queensland had been experiencing. We returned to our camp to warm up after a top of 8 degrees that day and planned our escape. Things didn't really go to plan though.
So we're leaving Koreelah on a cold, wet, rainy, misty morning. And just to add insult to injury, last night we found out that
both of our batteries are dead. And I think they've been going out for a while. They might be 6 years old, so we should have known better. But yeah, we're wet and we're cold, but we're going to head up to Toowoomba and see if we can find ourselves some replacements. But, it's quite eerie. We spent the whole night out here by ourselves. Very quiet, just the sound of pitter-pattering rain all night. Anyway, hopefully we don't get stuck on the way out. And see you in Toowoomba. Is it wine time?
Wine time!
Wednesdays are for wine. So we've had a busy 24 hours after leaving Koreelah. We've been to Toowoomba, tossed out the old 120 amp hour AGMs in the van and replaced it with 200 amp hour of lithium after they died on us. We've escaped the rain and cold weather, and now we're perched up here in Kingaroy in Queensland at a little winery free camp. We're about to go try some wine and cheese.
How stunning is this?
Yeah.
I found it on Wiki Camps, Kingsley Grove Estate. It's a free camp. We get to stay here for up to 48 hours for free.
And the sun's out, so we can
sun's
finally dry out a little bit. We have been saturated the last 24 hours. It's not been good, but...
So we're keen to enjoy the sun, have some wine, have some cheese. Let's get to it.
Yeah. So I've let the wine wear off a bit after a bit of a boozy lunch, and I've got a few hours up my sleeve, so I'm going to remount the battery that we threw in yesterday. I just crudely strapped it in just to give us some power while we're camping, and didn't really mount it, just used the existing mounts that were in there. So I'll have a go at fixing that up this afternoon. Well, that's a job done, and it looks a lot cleaner, a lot more safer. Even tested out this cheap inverter we got to run our washing machine, and all looks to be working perfect. So that'll tie us over until we have the time and budget for a better 12-volt system and a better inverter. Happy day, happy days.
Have a look at this. We have made it to Hervey Bay, our next camp. We're actually staying a bit outside of Hervey Bay on a farm. It's called Virtue Farm, and it's got views straight out to Fraser Island. How good is that? We've got our campsite here, and there's only one other caravan here at the moment. They only take up to 5 vans, so it makes it really good for a quiet, secluded spot. But they also have this really cute market garden over here. So we're going to go check out that now and see what they're growing in the garden.
What's really great about Virtue Farm, when we first got here, Heidi, the owner, come over and explained to us everything that goes on here, and they really encourage you to live with as little eco footprint as possible here. We're recycling everything, we're feeding scraps to the chickens, we're even putting our charcoals from our barbecue on the banana plants because apparently they love them. And we went for a quick walk through here yesterday afternoon. Yeah, they've got heaps of produce, like everything from citrus trees to eggplants and everything in between, and you can actually buy it all from their little stall at the front of their house. Even eggs from the chickens, which is great.
Do you know what I was thinking?
What?
I've always wanted to go to Fraser Island, and now it's that close. It's literally right there, and we're still not going.
How many times does this happen? We've been within stone's throw distance, and we just have to watch all the loaded up 4-wheel drives and the people with their campers and stuff head over.
We will get there.
Yeah, but not in school holidays.
Yeah, not in school holidays.
That can get a miss.
We'll do it on our way back down the coast.
Yeah. Oh, and you can also leave your van here, so
$12 a night.
$12 a night, so I reckon that's a go. And the barge is only 10 minutes down the road, so
Yeah.
can't beat that.
Let's go find the Sea Eagle.
Okay.
The last place we visited in Hervey Bay was Urangan Pier, not far from our camp on the farm. The massive 1,100 metre long pier extends over the sand flats out to deeper water. It's a great spot to watch the sun come up or go down and see all sorts of marine life, from whales to turtles. You can even catch a squid or barramundi. This was the last bit of sightseeing we did in the area before heading further north.
Thanks for watching our first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not quite sure how it all went together. We just sort of filmed bits and pieces of everything and just hoping that it goes together all right. We've never done this thing before, so yeah, fingers crossed. We're onwards and upwards to 1770.
I'm so excited for 1770. This is the one spot that I've always wanted to go, but it's just been a little bit too far from home.
Yeah.
And this is the one spot that we had to book in as well before we left for our trip, because it books out so quickly. We could only get 2 nights in one campground and 2 nights in another one. So I'm sure it will be pretty busy up there,
Yeah.
but I'm super keen to check it out. So we'll see you there.
Yeah, catch you soon.